Every morning, James, the old veteran, wakes up on a cold park bench in the heart of the city. His gray hair and worn-out clothes are a stark contrast to the bustling world around him. The people rush by, unaware of his existence. His eyes, deep and weathered with time, gaze into the distance, lost in memories of a past he can never fully escape. 20 years have passed since he last saw his family, his children, his grandchildren. The wars are over, but he's still fighting an invisible battle, one of loneliness and abandonment. Once a proud soldier, now reduced to a beggar on the streets. James has long given up hope of finding his loved ones. He has been wandering for decades, with nothing but his memories and the hope that one day his family will find him. Through those years, his family has never stopped searching. His children, his grandchildren. They've searched every town, every city, asking around, putting up flyers. But James has vanished like a shadow. They can't forget him. They can't stop searching, even though the years are slipping away. In their hearts, they always believed that one day they would be reunited. But one day, when all hope seemed lost, a stray dog appeared. No one knew why it stopped at James, but it barked, and it searched, leading a family member down the street to where James lay. At that moment, everything that seemed impossible became real. James lay still on the cold, hard pavement, his back pressed against the brick wall, his legs tucked beneath him, as if to shield himself from the world around. The sounds of traffic and hurried footsteps filled the air, but he remained a forgotten figure, a shadow among the crowd. The weathered lines on his face told stories of time and pain, stories of battles fought both on foreign soil and within his own heart. For years he had been alone. The battles of war had taken him far from home, and when it was over, he returned, but his family was gone. The war had left scars, not just on his body, but on his mind. His memories of his children, their faces so young and full of life, were fading, blurred like old photographs left out in the rain. 2 decades had passed, but he never stopped hoping, never stopped praying that one day his family would find him. But the years wore on, and the world around him kept moving, while he stayed frozen in time. His clothes were ragged, his beard long and unkempt, a symbol of the neglect he had endured. He had no home, no place to call his own, just the streets. Every night he would lay down wherever he could find a spot, under the stars or the harsh glow of streetlights, with only the memory of his family to keep him company. Meanwhile, far away, his family searched desperately. His children, now grown with children of their own, had never given up. They had hired private investigators, reached out to organizations, and placed ads in newspapers. They visited shelters, contacted hospitals, and even posted on social media. Every lead ended in disappointment. Every clue led to another dead end. But they couldn't stop searching. They couldn't forget. The thought of their father, the once strong and proud man who had fought for his country, now lost and forgotten, was unbearable. They couldn't accept that he might never come home, so they searched relentlessly in every corner, every possible place where he could be. They were certain, deep in their hearts, that one day they would find him. They had to. And then, one fateful day, the miracle happened. A stray dog, dirty and thin, trotted down the street, sniffing at the ground as if it were following a trail. It stopped in front of James, wagging its tail furiously. There was something about the old man that made the dog pause, as if it knew something no one else did. The dog barked, its bark loud and insistent as if calling out for help. The dog didn't stop there. It ran back and forth, going around James, until finally it dashed off, as if it had a mission. A few moments later, a person appeared. The person was his grandson, a man in his 30s, who had been tirelessly searching for him all these years. The dog had led him here. The man stared at the old figure on the ground, disbelief filling his heart. He recognized him immediately, even though time had changed him. It was his grandfather, the man they had been searching for, the man they thought they had lost forever. He opened his eyes, his vision blurred. His body ached in places he couldn't even identify anymore. For a brief moment, he wondered if it was just another dream, another fleeting vision of a world that no longer existed. The old man blinked, trying to focus, but the face before him was clearer than anything he had seen in years. "Grandpa!" The word hit him like a wave of emotion. He could barely comprehend what was happening. Standing in front of him was his grandson, a young man he hadn't seen since he was a child. His face, now grown and mature, was a mirror of his son's, his lost child. James couldn't speak at first. His throat tightened, and his hands trembled, as if the very action of touching someone else after so many years of isolation was too overwhelming. Tears welled up in his eyes, but he couldn't bring himself to cry. Not yet. After all these years of searching, of waiting, the family he had once lost was finally here. The man bent down, slowly reaching out to touch James's frail hand. "We've been looking for you for so long," he whispered, his voice choking with emotion. For a moment, neither of them spoke. They just looked at each other as if trying to believe that the impossible was actually happening. James's mind raced back through all those years, years of surviving in silence, of hearing nothing from his family, of wondering if he would ever see them again. The weight of it all seemed to fall on him in that one moment. "I thought you were gone. I thought I'd never see you again," the grandson continued, his voice filled with both sorrow and relief. "We've been looking. We never stopped. We never gave up on you." James slowly reached out with his trembling hands, taking his grandson's in his own. The touch was enough to bring him back to life, to remind him that he was not completely alone in this world. The reunion was not just about finding each other. It was about the years of pain and separation being washed away in a single precious moment. As James was helped up, his grandson led him to a nearby bench, a quiet spot away from the bustling street. The dog that had led the way now sat quietly beside them, as if it too knew that its job was done. The reunion was not just a miracle. It was the answer to years of waiting, praying, and hoping. His grandson spoke again, but this time there was a new sense of calm in his voice. "We're going to take you home, Grandpa. You don't have to be alone anymore. We've missed you so much." The world outside was still moving, as it always did, but for James, everything had stopped. He had never imagined this moment would come. 20 years of pain and separation, and here, in a quiet moment with his family, all of that seemed to melt away. Family's home, the reunion continued with laughter, tears, and a warmth that James had long forgotten. His children, now grown, surrounded him, each one a little older, but still holding the same love for him as when they were children. There were stories to be told, memories to relive, and apologies to be made for the lost years. As they sat around the dinner table, James felt a peace he hadn't known in 2 decades. The years of wandering, the years of fighting in silence, were over. His family was there, and that was all that mattered.